Once again, a huge crowd has turned out here at Oulton Park to see the continuing battle of the British Superbikes. John Reynolds is the man that leads the series, but of course most have come to see Neil Hodgson and Chris Walker do it again at Lodge Corner. This is round 7, and we've both races coming up for you later in the programme. Here's what's in today's show.
John Reynolds knows what it takes to be British champion, and he's never looked meaner. But it takes something special to beat Neil Hodgson. He's fast and furious after the last round at Silverstone. And just to wind him up more, he cops a big penalty from a brand new rule. Dean Thomas returns to the scene of his only Supersports win of the year and sits on pole. Our coverage at Oulton is the best ever. How close do you want to get? Not that we've been going on about it much, but this was the venue for that incident earlier in the series. Neil Hodgson and Chris Walker said they wouldn't change their style, and didn't. After a gentleish Snetterton, Silverstone saw a resumption of hostilities. That time Hodgson came off worse, but all the time, one man has kept it clean.
Well, if you've been following the British Superbike series this year, you might have thought it was a Hodgson-Walker battle, but the man who leads the series, of course, John Reynolds. John, sometimes I think that maybe you're overlooked a little bit, really. You're leading the series, you've won more races than anyone else. You're quietly getting on with the business of winning this championship. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I think, Keith, purely because I've kept out of trouble so far, and the other guys have been knocking each other about a bit, and of course, you know, that's quite high profile when that happens. But I'm not happy with the way things are going. No, I've made too many wrong choices with tyres, and that's cost me dearly. I had a bad weekend at Silverstone where I had quite a heavy cold, and that lost a bit of concentration through that. So I really do need to dig in. I pretty well know which tyres we're going to use this weekend. And of course, last time we were here this year, I made a wrong tyre choice in the first race, which cost me dearly. Although I finished third, it was a bad third. You know, I was very disappointed, if you remember. So
hardly could forget that, really, your face at that particular meeting.
Yeah, well, you know, it's important to me, racing is, and of course, you know, I want to win races, and I want to be up there racing with the boys, and you know, when I'm not, it's a big problem to me.
Well, you've been gifted a heap of points. I mean, here notably Oulton Park, when the two of them ended up in the gravel trap at the last corner. But you've also beaten them fair and square at places like Snetterton, for instance, where you snuck up on them and just made that beautiful manoeuvre right at the end. Do you feel you're riding as good as you possibly can, or is there more to come from John Reynolds as a rider as well as a team making the right choices?
I think I'm riding well. I'm riding better than I ever have done. You know, in fact, this morning I've been around the circuit at Oulton Park here faster than I've ever done before with a race tyre. So I'm reasonably happy with that. What I need to do now is consistently make the right tyre choice. In fact, last time we were here it was a wrong tyre choice, which cost me heavily through the slow chicanes out the back. When I put a better tyre on, a grippier tyre, I just didn't have the confidence to nail it out through the chicanes, and I was losing 10-15 yards a lap, which is 2/10, and I was having to get it back around the faster parts of the track, which around Oulton Park you don't really need to do. So I'm consciously making an effort now to get faster on the slower parts, if you know what I mean.
OK, you mentioned the words nail it, and that's exactly what Walker and Hodgson are doing to each other. Are you prepared to get involved in a three-way battle on the last corner? Are you prepared to elbow the pair of those out of the way, as they appear to be doing with each other?
Yeah, I mean, as I see it, you know, to get aggressive, that's fine, and to make an overtaking move that sticks, that's great. I mean, you don't need to have contact to do that. OK, I mean, if you do clout each other, well, that sometimes is a racing incident, but I do feel that you can overtake without touching somebody else, and I like to do that. But I mean, if it means that there's going to be contact, well, if I get it, I'm going to give it.
What about those boys? You've seen the incidents that they've been involved in. You've obviously seen the replays. You've heard the repercussions around the paddock here. We've heard about court cases possibly. I mean, how do you view that?
Yeah, I've got my views, Keith, but I really want to keep them to myself at the moment. You know, I know what's happening, and I know where I think the blame lies, and that's the way I'll keep it. Sorry.
This is Lodge Corner, the scene of the action from round 4 here at Oulton Park. Chris Walker and Neil Hodgson, well, we know what happened to them. The marshals are ready. Are you ready? Let's take a look at qualifying.
John's already said he's going faster than ever before here at Oulton. That was on a race compound tyre. On a qualifier, he's a bit of catching up to do. There's no doubt he's the most spectacular superbiker, but even the stalker felt the strain of qualifying. He was close to joining Reynolds on row 2. Claire Smith found out if he was still cool.
Well,
Chris, you had us worried there for a while. We were watching you starting off from the second row, which for Stalker would be unheard of course.
Yeah, I was panicking a little bit myself, to be fair. No, we've struggled a little bit. You know, you come here, we've got settings from the race before, and as always, nothing ever works, does it? So we've been struggling a little bit, playing catch up, but no, things came better and better towards the end of the session, and no, really good towards the end. I figured, well, I looked at Neil's time this morning, and he'd done an exceptional lap, and I thought, well, I might not be able to get that fast, but hopefully I can get in the low 32s and get on the front row, and we managed to just scrape it in time before the session was stopped.
Of course, more track time out here at Alton on the Suzuki. Are you feeling pretty confident for tomorrow?
Yeah, the bike's going good. As I say, we've had a few little problems, but only really a setup thing. I think it's been more me than anything. Just getting a bit excited out there, maybe trying a bit too hard. But no, you know, we've just got a tyre choice to make. Other than that, things are rocking.
We always see the most amazing starts from you. I mean, there's just nobody out there that seems to do it as consistently as you do. What's the secret behind that?
I've no idea. I think it's fear. Knowing all them guys are right behind you, I think that must help.
Remember Carl Harris's spectacular antics last year? Well, after a less than useful Supersports World Championship campaign this year, he tried a superbike at Alton and crashed. Talking of spectacular and crash, Steve Plater talks to Claire through gritted teeth.
Well, Steve, we can obviously see you're fairly beaten up there. What's happened to you out in qualifying?
Yeah, I don't know, it wasn't very far through qualifying really. I came in and made some alterations to the bike and went out and just went a bit quicker, but got a bit too excited, I think, and I don't really know what happened. I crashed Cascades, which is the first part of the lap, and knocked myself out.
Oh dear, and how are you feeling now?
Pretty second-hand, really. You know, not too bad, but I was knocked out for quite some time, and just I came around. They took me to hospital to try and sort me out. I've got whiplash, and I've chipped 3 teeth, and just battered really.
Back with a bang, but without the pain is red-hot Scot Steve Hislop. His new helmet colours and a renewed enthusiasm for winning.
Well, Steve, congratulations. You said after Silverstone that being back on the podium was certainly good for your soul, and you're continuing with that form here in Alton Park this weekend.
Yeah, I was up there yesterday in the free practice day, and you know, this morning I got second, and I've equalled the time again there. I was on for a slightly quicker, like a pole lap on the last lap, but I had a bit of a whoopsie at the last corner. So I outbraked myself and fell over in the gravel. Should have took my bucket and spade.
But you are doing consistent times, but Neil Hodgson's time they set this morning was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's not been able to equal it this afternoon. I think he just caught it right with the weather and everything this morning. But no, I was able to equal what I did, and going by what the team have been watching, I've been as consistent as anybody out there on race tyre setups, so that's good.
Any major changes coming into this weekend?
No, we've just been tinkering on a little bit with the injection, and I think we're getting a more compact package again, which you had at the start of the year. We just kind of went haywire for a couple of events.
You need to be an absolute genius to figure out that fuel injection system, don't you?
There's a lot of horsepower still heading away in there, and hopefully we'll find it some of these days, but no, it's just nice to have the package that's quite usable at the moment.
Using his package to better effect this week is Revo Red Bull's James Hayden. It takes a very cool head to avoid frustration when all you need to find is 1/100th of a second over 2.7 miles.
Well, James, a very big congratulations to you. The first time this year on the front row. I bet you'll be saying it's about time, won't you?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's quite hopeless, really, but, you know, I've just never seemed to have been, you know, I always try very hard in qualifying, but we never seem to get there. But, you know, we've had a podium from the second row every meeting from, you know, apart from Seston. So, yeah, I mean, things hopefully looking good to be on the front row.
Absolutely, I'm sure you'll be in great form tomorrow. Now, this morning you weren't really on the pace. What have you changed this afternoon to make such a brilliant time out there?
Oh, so many things. I mean, the guys have worked really hard. I mean, I was walking around with my chin on the floor this morning and go, "Wow, this is rubbish, this is rubbish." And, you know, we sat down and we were constructive and we looked at what we've got to do, and we changed the bike, and that is definitely the best I've had my bike feeling. And it's kind of, you know, for me, it's kind of, you know, I need to ride my bike slightly differently from John, and I've been trying to like concentrate on John's stuff, and, you know, I've gone a bit more my own way, and, you know, but still, we're not that million miles away, but it's just slightly different to allow for my weight and my riding style. It's made a big difference, and, you know, I think hopefully from here we can really progress some more.
Neil Hodgson limbered up for round 7 in the heavyweight battle of Alton and set a stunning qualifying lap that rendered his rivals absolutely speechless. He was 1.5 seconds under the lap record. Must have been that haircut, sir.
Well, Neil, congratulations. Seem to be making a habit of